Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, Boy in the Wordless Conversation. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Every morning with Boy begins before any alarm dares to ring. I never hear him bark to wake me up. Instead, I feel it, a soft weight at the edge of the bed, a gentle warmth near my feet, and then the unmistakable presence of two curious eyes watching me breathe. Boy does not speak, yet somehow he always knows the exact moment when sleep loosens its grip on me. When I open my eyes, he is already there, tail tapping lightly against the mattress like a polite knock on the door of my day. Our conversation starts without words. Boy stretches in an exaggerated way, front paws extended, back curved like a small rainbow. I stretch too, copying him. He yawns widely, and I yawn back. This silent mimicry feels like our secret handshake. No greetings are spoken, but everything important is already said. Good morning. I'm here. Are you ready for today? As I sit up, Boy tilts his head slightly, studying my face as if reading invisible letters written there. If my eyes are slow and heavy, he waits patiently. If I smile, even faintly, his tail speeds up like a clock that has suddenly remembered its purpose. He hops off the bed and trots toward the kitchen, stopping halfway to look back. That glance is a question and an invitation at once. I follow. In the kitchen, the routine continues. I pour water into his bowl, and he watches closely, ears relaxed, posture calm. When I place the bowl down, he doesn't rush. He looks at me first. This pause always surprises visitors, but to me it feels natural. It's his way of saying thank you without saying anything at all. Only after our eyes meet does he lower his head and drink. While I prepare my coffee, Boy sits nearby, close enough that I can feel his presence, but not so close that he gets in the way. He doesn't beg. He doesn't demand. He simply exists beside me, and that alone is enough. Occasionally, his nose touches my leg, just for a second, like punctuation in a sentence that doesn't need words. Outside, the morning air is cool and fresh. We walk together down the quiet street, my footsteps heavy, his light and rhythmic. Boy doesn't pull on the leash. He adjusts his pace to mine, slowing down when I slow, quickening when I do. Sometimes he looks up at me mid-walk, checking in. Those brief glances say more than 1,000 questions. Are you okay? Are you enjoying this moment too? We pass neighbors, trees, familiar corners. Boy sniffs the world with careful curiosity, reading stories written in scent. I watch him, amused and calm. When a bird flutters by, his ears perk up, but he doesn't chase. He looks at me instead, waiting for my reaction. When I laugh softly, he relaxes, satisfied. This is our language, shared glances, small gestures, quiet understanding. By the time we return home, the day feels less heavy. Nothing dramatic has happened. No deep conversation, no advice exchanged. Yet somehow, through this wordless dialogue, Boy has already helped me feel grounded. He hasn't solved any problems, but he has reminded me that presence itself can be a powerful form of communication. Afternoons with Boy are slower, wrapped in soft sunlight and the gentle hum of ordinary life. After lunch, the house settles into a comfortable quiet. I sit at my desk, working, while Boy chooses his favorite spot on the floor nearby. He turns in small circles before lying down, as if arranging invisible pillows, then lets out a deep sigh. It's the kind of sigh that sounds like relief, like the world is exactly as it should be. As I type, Boy occasionally lifts his head, eyes half open, checking if I'm still there. I am. I always am. When my focus drifts and my shoulders tense, he senses it immediately. He stands up, walks over, and rests his head on my knee. No words, no instructions. Just a simple gesture that says, you don't have to carry everything alone. I place my hand on his head, feeling the familiar texture of his fur, warm and real. The tension in my shoulders eases without me noticing how or when it happens. Boy doesn't demand attention. He offers it quietly, like a gift left at the door without a name attached. Later, we move to the living room. I sit on the floor, leaning against the couch, scrolling through my phone. Boy lies beside me, close enough that our sides touch. Sometimes I talk to him, not because I expect an answer, but because it feels natural. I tell him about small worries, unfinished tasks, things that feel heavier than they should. He listens without interrupting, without judging, without trying to fix anything. When I stop talking, he nudges my hand with his nose. That's his response. Not advice, not solutions. Just acknowledgement. I hear you. I'm still here. In the late afternoon, we play. Boy brings me his favorite toy, dropping it at my feet with careful precision. His eyes sparkle with anticipation. I throw it, and he runs, ears flapping, body full of joy. When he returns, he doesn't just drop the toy. He places it gently in my hand, our fingers brushing his mouth for a brief second. It's another form of trust, another silent agreement. As the sun lowers, the light in the room changes. Shadows stretch longer, and the day feels softer around the edges. Boy settles down again, this time resting his head on my lap. I stop whatever I'm doing and stroke his fur, slow and steady. Neither of us moves. Neither of us needs to. In this shared silence, time feels different. It doesn't rush. It doesn't demand productivity or progress. It simply exists. Boy's breathing becomes slow and even, and I find myself matching it unconsciously. In this quiet, I realize something important. Conversation doesn't always need sound. Sometimes, the most meaningful exchanges happen when we allow ourselves to be still together. As evening arrives, Boy and I sit side by side, watching the sky darken through the window. The day ends the same way it began, without words, yet full of meaning. Looking at him, I understand that our wordless conversations are not empty at all. They are filled with patience, attention, and presence. Boy teaches me that communication is not about speaking more, but about listening better, to gestures, to emotions, to the quiet needs of those around us. In today's fast-paced world, we often forget how powerful silence can be. We rush to explain, to argue, to be heard. Yet animals like Boy remind us that understanding begins when we slow down and truly observe. By paying attention to body language, tone, and small actions, we can improve our relationships, not only with animals, but with people as well. From Boy, we learn consistency, kindness, and unconditional acceptance. He doesn't care about my mistakes or my unfinished plans. He cares that I am present, that I show up. This lesson can guide our daily lives. Be more attentive, more patient, and more compassionate. When humans learn to communicate with animals through respect and empathy, we build a world where coexistence is gentler, warmer, and more meaningful for everyone who shares it.